Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're gonna see how we can print the triangular character pattern onto the console. So in this example program we have one class called character pattern, and inside the main method we have one integer variable row. This will hold the number of rows our pattern going to print. I have initialized it with the value 5. Also we can take user input for the row value. Then we have another integer variable alphabet. This will hold the ASCII value of one character. I have initialized it with the value 65, which is the ASCII value of capital A. Then we have one outer for loop. This will run from 0 to less than the row number. And within the outer for loop we have two nested inner for loop. The first inner for loop will run from row to greater than the value of I, and in every iteration it will print one space onto the console. And the other nested for loop will run from 0 to less than equal the value of I, and in every iteration of this inner for loop it will add the alphabet variable with the control variable k, and it will convert that addition to one character using the character casting, and then it will print that character onto the console. And after the termination of both of these for loop we have one println method for the line break, and after that the control will go back to the beginning of the outer for loop, and this way the whole cycle will continue to happen until the outer for loop condition become false. Then the outer for loop will be terminated and the whole program will also be terminated. So at the beginning of the outer for loop the value of I will be 0, so the first inner for loop will run from 5 to greater than 0, so it will run 5 times, and in every iteration it will print one space onto the console. So first we have 5 spaces, and then we have the next inner for loop. This will run from 0 to 0, so this will iterate one time, and it will add the alphabet variable 65 with the control variable k, and it will convert that to one character using the character casting. So 65 is the ASCII value of capital A. So first we have 5 spaces, and then we have one capital A printed. And after the termination of both of these for loop we have the println method, so there is gonna be one line break, and then the control will go back to the beginning of the outer for loop, and this time the value of I will be 1, so the first inner for loop will run from 5 to greater than 1, so it will run 4 times and it will print 4 spaces onto the console. And the next inner for loop will run from 0 to 1, so it will run 2 times, and in every iteration it will add the alphabet with the control variable k. So in the first iteration the value will be 65, so it will print A, and in the next iteration it will add 65 plus 1, so 66 is the ASCII value of capital B, so it will print capital B onto the console. And after that we again have the println method, so there is gonna be one line break, and then the control will again go back to the beginning of the outer for loop, and this time the value of I will be 2, so the first inner for loop will run 3 times, so it will print 3 spaces, and then the next inner for loop will run 3 times and it will print capital ABC onto the console, and this way it will continue to print characters and spaces onto the console. And whenever the value of I become 5, then the outer for loop condition will become false, so the outer for loop will be terminated and the whole program will also be terminated. And this way we can print this triangular character pattern onto the console. So now I'm gonna save the program and I'm gonna compile and run the program, and you can see the output. We have the triangular character pattern printed onto the console. So this way we can use two nested inner for loop, where the first inner for loop will run and print spaces onto the console, and the next inner for loop will run and print the characters onto the console. And by repeatedly doing that we can print the triangular character pattern onto the console. So hope you understand the concept. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.